Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Thanks, Gertrude. My name is Del Harbeck, Lyndall Harbeck in full, but everyone calls me Del. I'm currently based in Townsville, up in Queensland. And my story is a slightly different one, slightly unconventional one. Basically, back in 2017, a week after I got married to my husband, we were put in a situation where we had to move. So to give you a backstory, he used to be in the military. He was in the Australian military for 20 years. And with that comes kind of part and parcel, we had to move around a fair bit. And one of these moves came right after our wedding. We had to pack everything up yet again, move across the country, this time down to Victoria. And I was faced with, again, the trials and tribulations of starting again. I had to find a new job. I had to find new friends. And after a while, I know any military spouse can relate to this. It gets quite difficult. You persevere and you power through, but you just have to absorb the fact that you have to continually start again. Their career kind of takes the precedence here in terms of where we move. So I packed up everything. We moved over to Victoria. He was sent away on a job immediately, and I was in this cold house in Geelong. The electricity wasn't connected. I was surrounded by boxes. I had no job. And I'm sitting there in the cold going, what am I going to do? Where am I going to start? And that's when I decided to change everything. And that decision in that moment has changed my life as it is today. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I decided to back myself and start my own business. So with a prior career in the entertainment industry and then shifting into a marketing capacity and working on that for many years, I decided to start my own marketing agency, just little old me. And I did the old-fashioned way of going out and finding my own clients. So I started with industries that I knew a lot about. I had my previous role was in marketing for a business brokerage. So I contacted business brokerages and I said, I understand your process. From there, I got my first ever client. That client is Core Business Brokers in Sydney, and they're still with me today. 7, 8 years later? I won't do the maths off the top of my head, but a really long time. From there, the business continued to grow. And fast forward to today, I have a wonderful business partner, Meg. Our business is called Marketing Movement. We have a team of 9 who are incredible human beings and amazing at their job. And the growth in our agency has been astronomical. It's still growing, and we're helping hundreds of businesses around Australia grow and achieve their goals and overcome their challenges and problems. So the journey started at humble beginnings and then has kind of transformed into this amazing career, and a career that I've stuck with for the longest in my entire life. I've dabbled in many different things, past career in entertainment. So I danced and sung in professional shows all over the world for over 10 years. And now here I am with my own company that I've run since 2017 now with Meg as well. So it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey. If I look back on this journey at 3 big takeaways, if I were to do it again, or if I had to impart any advice on another woman doing something similar, my first piece of advice is to go all in. Don't doubt yourself. You need to back yourself. I think there was a big part of me that, especially as I started and it was such a small little business baby, that I doubted myself, but I wasn't sure about the success, and I wasn't sure of how I would feel if I gave this everything and then failed. How would that look? I think you just need to get rid of that mindset entirely and go absolutely all in. When people, friends, family, connections, even friends of friends, when they see you 100% living and backing yourself in your business decisions, they realize that it's not just a side hustle or a hobby. This is your career and you are taking it seriously. And people admire that about someone. So I think it's really important to do that from the beginning. And if I had my time again, I would do that so much better. The second piece of advice I would love to share with my past self and with anyone listening and watching is to break the mold. I think we have this societal expectation of what success looks like, what success looks like traditionally as well. It's that chained to the desk, working long hours, making big money, having big teams. And for me, I want to touch on something that's really different about my story that I haven't yet. I live on a sailboat. So a big part of my journey is growing this business to a point where I could then do it from anywhere. It is the nature of digital marketing. It is everything digital. So if I've got internet connection and a laptop, I can work. But I have definitely led by example for my team in that regard, where I work as I sail around Australia. I started in Perth and we're currently in Townsville, or I should do the opposite way, depending on how the camera flips. So break the mold. Success for you is whatever you deem it to be. If that means that you earn enough and have a fantastic work-life balance, then that's successful. If that means having one team member, that's successful. It's not something that you need to tick a box to please everyone else. Success is actually something that you determine yourself. So I would encourage everyone to actually sit down and think about, what does success look like to me? And I'm going to achieve that, not what everyone else deems it to be. And the last piece of advice and the biggest takeaway for me on my journey is, when the time is right and you can financially sustain it, hire people that do the job better than you. Here at Marketing Movement, our agency, we are so lucky to have a team that does their job and does the services we provide better than me. Back in the day, Meg and I did everything, and we'd have to wear all the hats and do all the things. And not to toot our own horn, we did a good job. But now we're at a stage where we are able to hire people that can specialize and who have dedicated years to really honing their craft. From there, we can specialize in a variety of different things. And the result of that is having a team that is so strong and so collaborative, even though we're 100% virtual, that the output is of such high quality that our clients are achieving astronomical results. So it's not about the ego. You got to ditch that ego. I want my team to be better than me. That's what makes a good business. It's the people that work in the business. And I am very, very grateful for the people that form our business, because they are us entirely and they're incredible at their job. So that is my story in a nutshell. I live on a boat, run a marketing agency, and have a fantastic time doing it.
Wow. I love stories that come out of adversity, women who
Sorry,
see it.
Gertrude, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? That's very strange. I can hear you clearly. So something must be wrong. How are we going to do this? Either I will go out and come back in. Okay. Technology is great when it works. When it fails, it can be terrible. So we'll wait for my guest to come back. I have a funny feeling something on her computer was hogging the mic and the sound. There she is.
Hello, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. I can hear you now.
You hear me? Yeah, no, technology is great when it works and it's terrible when it doesn't.
I know.
Okay, so I was saying I love it when women find themselves in difficult positions, find a way to pivot and take action and create something magical the way that you've done. So, what was the exact moment that made you decide I'm going to build something of my own?
The moment for me was arriving in Geelong, sitting around a house full of boxes, knowing I have to unpack all of this and then find a job, then plant my roots, and then the overwhelming kind of looming nature of how long will this last before I have to do it again. And I just
Yes.
thought to myself, I need to build something of my own that can grow with me instead of me fitting my square peg into all of these round holes, but to actually create something that works for me, that I can continue growing no matter where I am. And that's exactly what Marketing Movement has become. And I'm really thrilled that the decision that I made back then, and then together with Meg a few years later when we merged together, has resulted in this agency that has given us both such purpose.
It not only grows with you, but it moves with you as well. You can do
Yes.
this from anywhere, right?
Well, exactly.
I love it. So, what part of your identity had to shift for you to become a business owner?
I think I've always been quite entrepreneurially minded. Um, I've worked for myself in some capacity my entire career. So whether that's in performing arts, managing your own schedule, going to different auditions and managing your invoices and things like that. So that side of the business ownership journey came quite naturally to me. But in terms of shift, this was a whole new chapter. I had to really go, as I said earlier when I was chatting about my story, I had to go all in. I couldn't just do this on the side. This wasn't something I wanted to sit on the sidelines. I wanted this to grow and overtake my primary source of income and work. So I had to back myself more than I'd ever have before. And my mindset really shifted from a place of doing a lot of things to really honing and doing this one thing exceptionally well.
I love that. So, when did you stop seeing yourself as starting over and you started to see yourself as building forward instead?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think when I started to see the growth in clients, so I started with that one client and that was enough. I was like, okay, great, I can do this. But then when it got to like 2, 3, 4 clients, and I thought to myself, okay, this isn't still enough to be a full-time capacity, but I can see this trajectory. And it gave me the positive boost that I needed to go, yep, I've got this. And from there, I just started taking it more and more seriously. I started to back myself more than I had before. I started to really project who I was in the business, what the business was. And I think that started to resonate with people. Most of the clients I got in those early days were all word of mouth. They were all referrals. I've worked with Dell, you need to work with Dell. And that meant a lot to me as well, because I'm like, I'm clearly doing something right. I've just got to keep going with this. So yeah, seeing that positive trajectory on the client scale, I think was enough of a boost to keep me going.
I love it. So, what fears did you have to confront that most people don't talk about?
I think the fear of failure is a huge one for new businesses and people starting something new. That I think that's why they don't back themselves to the extent they do, because if they try something and it fails and they kind of kept it on the side undercover anyway, then no one really knows they failed. And
Yeah.
the thing is, and the biggest fear everyone needs to overcome, is that failure isn't actually failure if you learn from it. So if you fail, so what? We all fail. We fail at something all the time, but it's how you respond to that failure that actually matters. So if you can make that failure count, it's not really a failure then, is it?
No.
So we should stop being fearful of it.
I love that attitude, because I always say that my failures are stepping stones to my success. That's how I prefer to look at it. When things go wrong, it's like, okay, it's just another stone on the
Yeah,
path where I'm going, right?
absolutely. Someone told me that it was a cha-cha, that
Ah.
success here is a cha-cha. You're not actually walking backwards. You're just taking a little step back, little step forward. It's just a dance.
Oh, that's really nice. I might steal that from you.
Go for it.
It's just a cha-cha. So, what fears do you have to confront that most people don't talk about?
Aside from the fear of failure, I think that's the biggest one, to be honest. Just overcoming that failure and accepting it for what it could potentially unlock, and using it, as you said, like a stepping stone forward.
Yeah. And what it can unlock, I think, is the most exciting part of the journey. If you're
Absolutely.
willing to explore that, though.
If you're willing to explore it, and if you're also open to not being defeated by it. I
Yeah.
think failures can so easily defeat us. It can knock our confidence. It can question our abilities. But if you go, okay, well, why did that not succeed? Okay, well, I'm going to adjust, pivot, adapt, and make the next attempt so much better. Then you have failure win.
So, how did you land your very first client, and what did that moment mean to you?
It meant a great deal. So my very first client was Core Business Brokers in Sydney. I had previously come from a marketing role within a business brokerage over in Perth called GMO, which was a wonderful experience, a fantastic team. And I worked for them for several years, and I learned a great deal about the business sale acquisition process.
Right.
And from there, I had this intimate knowledge of, all the paperwork involved, all the due diligence, and the process that they go through as business brokers. So I started there. I started with what I knew and what was most current in my work history. I basically just cold outreached. And I think the biggest takeaway here is that I didn't do it en masse. I did it in a small, personal way. I sent personal emails, I did personal phone calls, and I said, look, this is who I am, and this is what I could do for your business and help. And this is why my help can actually matter. And I secured Core Business Brokers, and they are still working with Marketing Movement now today. They've been with us for 7 or 8 years, I think, total now. And I think they'll be a lifetime client, and it's a very special relationship.
So the relationship has lasted that long.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's
Thank
got to
you.
be a really nice feeling when you've maintained and kept a client for that long, because they say that it's easier to sell to someone you've worked with before than to find new clients. So
Yes.
nurturing that relationship must be big.
Yeah, and I think it's actually, I see many huge businesses put so much money and effort and focus into new client acquisition, forget the clients that they already have. So I think retention is actually a really good way of reviewing how successful a business actually is. So it is a very, very great feeling when we look back and see the businesses that have worked with us for 7, 5, 8 years, because we go, okay, there's a great relationship there, there's great results and a great experience.
I love it. So what mistakes did you make early on that actually shaped your business?
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of mistakes throughout the course. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me personally is the importance of the people that you bring to the table. And that is both from a client side and a team member side as well. We are so lucky in Marketing Movement to have an incredible team. I adore every single person on the team. They all bring an exquisite array of skills to the table, and they're all just really wonderful humans. But in saying that, we haven't always had fantastic humans on the team. Sometimes you hire and everything is great in the interview and really great on paper, and then you realize actually this isn't the person, and that's okay. It then helps transform the way you hire in future. I feel like we've kind of got a great system in place now. We know that hiring for culture and skill combined is the most important combination. And the right people can be taught the right things, but the people with the skills might not necessarily be the right human fit. So I think that that's also a really big takeaway.
Nice lessons learned there.
Yeah.
So what was the moment that you realized that this was no longer a side hustle, but a real business?
I think when it passed the point of being part-time capacity and I took it full-time, when I had enough clients to warrant full-time hours, I went, okay, this is legit. I have enough work. I don't need to do any other jobs or side hustles. And this has overtaken all other work that I do. Then it became a very concrete business in my eyes.
Yeah. So what does building a business from a sailboat teach you about freedom and success?
I think it teaches me all of the best lessons. So it teaches me that if you're able to in your job, if you are completely virtual and you need this incredible internet capabilities these days. I have an internet dish on the back from Starlink that gives me internet basically everywhere. I could be anchored off the island somewhere off the coast of Australia, and if it's within a certain mile radius, I get internet. So it gives me the freedom to do it from anywhere. But it also has taught me some really valuable lessons about how I approach and adapt to challenging situations, because people hear my story and they think, oh, wow, what an idyllic life. She's working from the tropical luxuries of the sailboat. Here's the truth. The sailboat comes with all of its own challenges. Things break. It's a small space. I'm not on a 80-foot luxury vessel. I'm on a smaller sailboat. So there's definitely things that I've traded in to do this lifestyle. And the other one, which is a really big one, is Mother Nature rules. So there are certain times where I have had to work because I have deliverables and I have the highest integrity. So if I say I'm going to do something, I will definitely do it. So if that means that I'm working through the rockiest of waves and feeling sick in the process, I will be doing it. But it's taught me a big lesson in one, Mother Nature, and two, the power of resilience and what you can actually get done if you promise yourself that you will.
Yeah. Yes, those promises we make to ourselves, but you have to commit to the promise, right?
Absolutely.
So how has living unconventionally influenced the way that you lead your team?
I think because I have such an unconventional life, I'm very open to my team doing so as well. So I feel like that whole back in the day corporate mindset of, clocking on now, clocking off now, you want leave, you get this much, that's out the window for us. And that's a decision that Meg and I made collectively, that we wanted to have a business that was adaptable and flexible and actually enjoyable to work in. So living on a boat and living that unconventional life actually allows me to live by example. And I hope that it comes across that way for my team, that if they choose to do something like this, that it will be welcomed with open arms. We had a team member, Jess, who decided to take a nice caravan trip with her family over several months last year. And we were like, absolutely do it. So she worked from the caravan park as she was traveling with her family, and her work did not change whatsoever. She still delivered incredible outputs and amazing results. And I think when your team are happy and can prioritize both career goals and life aspirations as well, everybody wins.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation at the end of the day. I love that. So what does going all in truly look like in practice and not just as a concept?
I think in practice, it means owning what you're doing in every conversation that it feels authentic to bring to the table.
Right.
If I'm speaking to someone in any capacity and they ask what I do, I don't say I'm in marketing. I say I own a marketing agency with my wonderful business partner. It's called Marketing Movement. It spurs on follow-on questions. Oh, what type of marketing? So it's not a brushed off situation. I live my truth. I speak about the company that I am so proud of creating with Meg. And alongside that, I think this has always been the case, to be honest. It's in my nature, but I've always given everything that I do for the business 110%. It's my business baby, so I'm always going to give it absolutely everything I've got.
So how do you deal with self-doubt when stepping into bigger versions of yourself?
That's a great question, because as we grow, we're attracting bigger and bigger clients. And it's
Yes.
about that, you know, putting that imposter syndrome aside and actually looking at it from a impartial point of view, and not being swayed by opinion or self-doubt. There is a reason that our business is 8 years old now. There is a reason we have a team of 9 incredible individuals. There is a reason that clients have been with us since inception. So it's not about me, it's about us. And us is a strong company, and we can service the biggest of clients, because I know that our team collectively have the skills to do anything we put our mind to. And yeah, it's no longer a question of me and the doubts I have about me, because it's not me anymore.
Yeah.
It's us.
That must be really nice. That is
It
awesome.
does.
My last 2 questions for you are a bit of a thought experiment. In the first one, I'm going to teleport you back to that young woman who was traveling from location to location, feeling frustrated, not really being able to get a job in the traditional sense. If you could go back and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what will those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
My 3 nuggets of wisdom would tie back to the story I told at the beginning, and that is, go all in, back yourself. Don't be shy about what you're passionate about. If this is something that you want to take seriously, then take it seriously, and the people around you will respect that. And that respect comes with growth. If you treat it like a side hustle or a hobby, that's exactly how everyone is going to see it. So go all in and back yourself would be number 1. Number 2 would be, as soon as you are able, attract people to your team that provide value, that strengthen your business. So Meg and I had wonderful little agencies. We saw value in combining our skill sets and creating a bigger, stronger agency together. And that's how our partnership unfolded. That was the beginning of this wheel. From there, we attracted more and more people to the team that brought more value. And all of a sudden, we've got a team of 9 at Marketing Movement that are better at all of the services than I could be alone as one single individual. We have the strengths of 9 now instead of the strengths of 1 or 2. So as soon as you are able to bring in more and more people that do things better than you can. And last but not least, it kind of ties into the way that I live my life, is just break the mold. Get rid of that traditional mindset of success. Success should look exactly how it looks to you, and not how success is deemed by other people. Because, you know, Jane over here might see success as something completely different to you. So I think for any business owner at the beginning of their journey, and looking back, as you said, and talking to a younger self of me, and saying, here's some advice, I would say, think about what you want out of this. Think about what makes you happy, and think about ultimately, what does success look like? Now that's the goal. It doesn't need to be earning X amount or working X amount or having X amount of staff. It's about the reality of what you want success to look like. And for me, success looks like a fantastic work-life balance that doesn't completely destroy my home life with stress or anxiety or ridiculous working hours. It means success for the people that I work with. That's a huge contributing factor. Success for me is success for my clients. And the third one is success for the team as a whole. I want everyone that works in our company to feel like they are achieving as well, that they are progressing in their career, that they are supported, and that they are achieving amazing things. So for me, that's what success looks like.
I love it. That's a really cool way to look at how to build a successful business, because sometimes we measure success by other people's standards.
Yes.
What's important is what's your standard of success. That's a beautiful piece of advice.
It's the only one that matters.
I love it. Now, my last question is futuristic, and I'm going to teleport you into the future. And we are going to go and meet the 90-year-old you. She's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her family. Maybe she's still on the sailboat on the sea somewhere. But if we could teleport into the future to meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
I would say thank you for this vibrant, diverse life that we've had. I have done so many things in the time that I've had alive so far, and I am so grateful for that. And I think looking into the future, I know for a fact that the next period is going to be a whole new chapter of challenges, adventures, exciting changes. And I can't wait, because if I reflect and then forecast, if it's anything like what I've had, we're going to have some fun. So I would say thank you. Thank you for the fun, for filling the years with living, and for going after exactly what sets your soul on fire, no matter what that is.
Absolutely love it. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us today. It's inspiring to see women breaking out of the mold, as you said, learning to do things differently, but learning to work at your own pace. You're not in competition with anyone but yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that we all need to remember every once in a while. I do that a lot when I go to the gym and I see all these young people, doing their thing. I'm like, okay, the only person I'm competing with is me.
Absolutely.
Do a little bit better than I did yesterday. I have won. So thank 100%. You.
And you never know who's watching and being completely inspired by you. You just don't see it.
That's true, actually. That is very true for a 60-year-old woman on a treadmill.
100%. Well, thank you so much for having me, Gertrude. It's been an absolute pleasure.
This has been wonderful to share you with our community. Is there anything else I should have asked you and I didn't? How can people find you?
Yes, that's a great one. So we are called Marketing Movement. You can find us at marketingmovement.net. And there is everything that you need to know. So there's a big section about our wonderful team. You can get in contact with us there, and we provide an array of digital marketing services to help you as a business owner grow your business.
Absolutely wonderful. Marketingmovement.net, correct? Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Del, thank you so much for this interview. It was wonderful connecting with you today.
Thank you, ditto. Thanks, Gertrude.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We are a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share these stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So tune in again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Dal, thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.